Good morning. Good morning. This is Dr. King coming from 800 Link. We are going to discuss, but before we do that, as y'all notice, I am outside. I told y'all the other day that I got tired of being in my apartment doing these presentations. And hey, I live over here, so I might as well show you people what wonderful day it is. Let me show y'all what it looks like out here. So it is grade A hot here in Duncanville, Texas. But this is the 800 Link part that I live in. Phase 1, right by the leasing office, so you guys can see. We all live in work for TI communities and live in TI communities complexes, or however you want to put it. Just want you guys to see what's going on over here where I am. Everybody is still asleep or people are at work or whatever. But I decided to do my presentation outside today. And remember, I'm still doing the series, for those of us who have kids that are getting ready to go off to college. We are going to do I've been doing a series of different, college topics, and so this week we are going to discuss school supplies that are needed for college students. And basically this is needed, I'm gonna go over the basic ones, and that's for all kids, just basically everybody needs some sort of type of school supplies. But when you're going off to college, there are certain school supplies that you need depending on the degree that you're majoring in. So let's go over the basic ones. And I read this morning, I don't know where you guys are. Like I said, I'm here in Texas. I read this morning that school supplies, even for lower levels, elementary, junior high, high school level, school supplies are extremely expensive right now. I don't know if it has anything to do with the pandemic, but my suggestion to you is go on Amazon, buy in bulk. It's cheaper, or Costco or Sam's or something like that. But so we're going to discuss the basic and degree specific school supplies that you need if you're going off to college. So basic, bottom line, you're going to need paper, whether it's loose leaf paper, whether it's a spiral, anything, you're going to need paper. Journals, some students prefer to use journals, and, they have one for each subject. You need paper of some kind. Second, pens, pencils, you need those. You need something to write with. Can't write in blood unless that's what, unless that's your thing. But, you need pens and pencils to write with, especially, everybody at some point is going to take a math class. So you're going to need some type of pencils, but pens, and a lot of times professors really don't care. You're taking notes. So if you write write your notes in pink, or green, or, some weird color, nobody really cares. It's your notes, so get funky with it. Get you some pens and pencils. You're going to need highlighters. When you get your textbooks, whether they're online or, you're like me, I'm tactile. So I have to have a book in my hand and a pen in my hand and a highlighter in my hand. You're going to want to highlight, for your notes and important information, just like you were in regular school, but remember, with textbooks at college level, you can keep those and you can write in them and draw in them and all of that good stuff. So you're going to need some highlighters, map colors. Like I said, some math classes are going to prefer you to need map colors to do certain things. If you're taking a history class, you may need map colors to do a map, to decorate a map of some kind. How you doing? You're going to need a calculator. I don't care whether you're taking a math class or a business class, accounting class, doesn't matter. You're going to need a calculator. Now, what type of calculator that you need depends on what class you're in. Like my daughter is taking biomedical engineering. She's going to need a scientific calculator. If you don't need a scientific calculator, don't go out and spend that $100 for a calculator. Just get a basic calculator. If you're taking accounting, you may need a more advanced calculator. Just know that you need a calculator, and depending on what degree major that you have is going to determine what calculator that you need. Y'all, I am up under this carport, and I am, about to base like some rotisserie gold out here. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be out here, so I'm going to get through this pretty quick. I just decided I didn't want to be in the house today, and I told y'all that last week. Degree specific. If you're in a science degree major, math, any science, math, business, you're going to need an advanced calculator. Now, like I said, depending on Which major you are depends on, your end depends on the calculator that you're going to need. So make sure that you understand that in those particular degrees, those particular courses, you're going to need some type of calculator. More often it's going to be a TI advanced or some other advanced calculator, but a lot of times your professors will tell you what specific calculator that you're going to need. So you might want to hold off on buying one if you don't have one already. From high school or whatever, hold off on buying one, because they'll tell you if you already don't have one that has everything on it. Like the TI calculators are pretty good. They have everything on them that they need. But a lot of times, professors may want you to have a specific calculator. So don't go out and just buy one until you find out. Once again, if you're a science major, you're probably going to need science-related things, periodic table. Get one of those. At some point, you may have to take chemistry, and you're going to need that periodic table to help you. Get your poster-sized periodic table. They have them for $7 on Amazon. You can get them as basic as you want in black and white, or they come in, different colors. They can be as complex as you want or as simple as you want. The most basic one, color one, is $7 on Amazon. You can get them more advanced. They can go up to $100. That's up to you. But if you're in business, once again, I'm thinking, math level classes, stuff that they're going to require you to go out and buy some supplemental things to go with. And accounting keeps coming into mind because it has to do with numbers, has to do with calculators, that type of stuff. So just know that when you are majoring in a specific degree, there are supplemental supplies that you're going to need. Once again, my daughter's a science major, so that's the stuff that's in my brain. I almost went out and bought her a freaking microscope. I didn't even know if she needed. I was like, let me hold off on that because she may not even need a microscope. But they are available for purchase on Amazon. But know for your degree major or your child's degree major what supplies you're going to specifically need to help you complete those courses. Business classes, you may end up having to find a SWOT chart. The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You may end up needing one of those. I don't know if they come in larger sizes, but I know you can find them online anywhere and print them off. You can make one yourself. Really nothing but 4 boxes. Look like a tic-tac-toe box. Just know, you may need a ruler for math class. You may need graph paper. You may need what is that thing called? It's not an abacus. Nobody makes abacuses anymore. You remember the little silver things we used to use when we were in school? And it had the pencil on one side and you can draw the angles and all of that. I get that computers do all of that stuff now, but sometimes it just doesn't hurt to know how to do some things yourself. Because guess what? Computers do go down, but your brain doesn't unless you have some type of condition. So you need to learn to be able to do some things for yourself, even with math. Yes, there are computers that are available that all you have to do is punch in the numbers, punch in the functions, and you do what you need to do. How you doing? But sometimes you also need to be able to know how to do things for yourself, because the person that can do things for themselves and don't always rely on computers and calculators are going to get further in the world. And speaking of that thing, technology. Every university now has a technology policy, and you need to go to the university that you or your child will be attending and look at that technology policy. The technology policy is going to tell you specifically exactly what type of technology you are going to need attending that university. It may be a specific type of laptop. It may be a specific type of desktop. And when I say specific, I mean it's going to tell you need to have a certain amount of RAM, certain amount of memory, certain amount of storage space, certain type of processor, certain type of minimum screen size. Every university now has what they call a technology policy, and you need to know the policy for your university. Don't just go out and buy a random laptop. You might find out that it does not have everything that it needs on it for you to be able to run course-specific software. Because a lot of times when you're in math and science classes, they have specific softwares that they run for those classes. Why does it look like I have a mustache, y'all? I am tripping over here. Anyway, focus, Bridget. It may look, it'll tell you that you don't have enough memory, or you don't have enough storage, or you don't have enough RAM to run this software. So you need to make sure that before you go out and buy any type of computer, whether it's a desktop, laptop, iPad, tablet, whatever, that you know the specific requirements for your university. And that's what you get. And because of COVID and, everything is manufacturing wise is kind of slowed down because of COVID. Well, same thing with computer chips. There are a lot of computers, there are a lot of laptops that are now on back order because computer chips are in demand right now. There's not enough of them being made, and you have to wait. And so if you have not already bought a computer, if you've not already bought a laptop, you need to go out there and see what's available. Because when we got my daughter's laptop, hers was the last one on the shelf for the specs that we needed for the university that she's attending at Best Buy. There was only one on the shelf, and we got it. So if you have to go to Dell's website or HP's website or Lenovo's website or whoever's website, you may have to go in and have one built. The only thing about having one built is that you may have to wait for a month to get it. So it just kind of depends. Just go to your university or college's website, Google in their search box, not Google, go to their search box within that website and type for technology policy. Every university has one, and it will tell you exactly what you need and the specs that are needed for any hardware that is going to be used to complete the coursework at that college or university. Do not just go out and buy a random computer that does not work anymore. You may also want, even if you get a laptop, you may also want to buy a keyboard, an additional keyboard. Reason being is because, like most people, the laptop keyboards are too little. Or the laptop itself is too little, your hands are too big or something like that. So you want to go out and you want to make sure that you have a backup keyboard just in case something happens. You want to have a backup mouse, whether it's wired or wireless. I suggest getting a wireless keyboard. I suggest getting a wireless mouse. But you want to make sure that you have those things. When you're in your dorm room or you're in your home or whatever and you're trying to do work, sometimes, like I said, you just don't want to mess with the laptop keyboard, laptop mouse pad. You want to use a regular keyboard, regular mouse. And so if that's your thing, get you an additional keyboard and mouse. Make sure that you determine whether or not you need either an external hard drive and or a flash drive. Sometimes professors want you to, or you just may want to store, I saw some flying, y'all, I apologize. You want to keep your documents from your classes. Your textbooks, any assignments that you do, any supplemental information that you get, all of that stuff, you want to keep that stuff, and especially if it's been emailed to you or there's some way that you can access it digitally. You want to keep that stuff. That is all information that you can use in other classes and you can use once you get out of college. Y'all do not understand how much I use my psychology books, how much I use my cultural diversity books, how much I use all the books when I was working on my doctorate with sports management. I go back and I use all of those books because they all have valuable information in them. Files that I've had given access to, when I was in college and in specific courses. You want to save a copy of all of that stuff because at some point you're going to refer back to it either in a higher level class or when you graduate and you're out working on your career. So don't just say, hey, I got these textbooks, I'm going to sell these back. Sometimes you may not want to, especially if it's the textbooks that's related to your degree for your career of choice. You always want to keep those things. Yeah, I know it's a little money. Hey, you bought it for $130. You want to go back and sell it for 60 or 70. I get that. But when you're talking about your degree, the textbooks that are used for the courses in your degree program, you might want to keep those. And hold on, I'm checking the time. Okay. You might want to keep those because you want to have information to refer back to, especially if you take like a calculus class and you're taking calculus 2. Well, calculus 2 is basically an extenuation of calculus 1, right? So why would you want to go and sell back that calculus book or sell somebody your calculus book when you're taking a next level calculus class? So make sure before you decide to sell your books back and all that type of stuff for money that you understand that all of this supplemental information and things that you get in your classes, you are going to at some point need them down the line. So you always want to keep backup copies of it. So that's where the external hard drive and or a flash drive comes in. I had actually both. I had 2 external hard drives and a flash drive, and that was basically because certain information that was a little bit more important than others. One external hard drive was encrypted and one was not. It's just up to you how you want to do your information for yourself. But you always want to make sure that you are determining whether or not before you decide to get rid of something, whether or not you're going to need it down the line. And sometimes I'll say keep it anyway. And then if you do somewhere down the line determine you don't need it, then throw it away. But don't just at the end of every semester, just start selling your books back and all that type of stuff, because sometimes you'll need that stuff. And so especially if you're taking an online class and you have ebooks and your professor is emailing you files and documents, you want to go in and keep that information. Then somewhere down the line, if you decide you don't want to keep that information, then you throw it away. Internet. Everybody is going to need internet. Most colleges and universities, if you live on campus, you're going to have access to the internet. If you are on campus, period, for classes, you're going to have access to the internet. But if you don't live on campus, and when you are not on campus, you need to make sure that you have internet. And it's, people say, it's safe to say that everybody has internet. No, they don't. It's probable. It's probable that a lot of people have the internet, but y'all, there are still parts of this country. We're not even talking about countries outside of the United States. I'm talking about the United States. There are still parts of this country that do not have internet lines and cables laid throughout their cities and areas to even get the internet to those places. So don't just assume that just because you have internet and you live in a big city and all of that everybody around you has internet. That's not true. Some people have to go to the nearest McDonald's or the nearest IHOP or the nearest hotel parking lot. It doesn't matter, but there is internet available. Make sure that you have access to the internet, because you're going to need it. We live in a technological age now, and there's very seldom, not much that you can do without having internet access. Whether it's on your phone or, like I said, push come to shove, go sit in a hotel parking lot. You can pull in the free Wi-Fi. Go to McDonald's, go to IHOP, just about everybody, no matter where you go now, just about every restaurant, every hotel, just about everybody has free Wi-Fi. And you can sit in a parking lot or go in there and get something to drink or purchase a meal or something and do your work. People understand. Go to Starbucks. People live for the little coffee shops and the cafes. If you have a local cafe around your dorm or around your home, go in there and take your laptop and take your stuff and study and buy some coffee and buy some pastries or something. That also helps them with marketing. Hey, I'm at watching whatever cafe or whatever coffee house, whatever, and I'm here getting, buying some mocha, grande, latte, venti, whatever, and I'm studying. Y'all come on down and study. Get you some pastries, get you some coffee. Coffee shop is never going to tell you, you cannot promote us. So you're going to need access to the internet. Is really bottom line. When you, like I said, if you're living on campus and when you're on campus, you will always have access to the university or college's internet service. But if you do not live on campus, if you are not on campus for whatever reason, and you decide that you want to go home, or you're at home, or you want to go somewhere else to study, make sure you go somewhere where you have access to the internet to be able to do your work. And then there's going to be degree-specific software that you're going to need. Once again, if you're a science major of some kind, or a business major of some kind, or just any type of major really now has their own degree-specific softwares. Course-specific softwares. Everybody has now paid someone to develop some type of software program. I don't care what you do. If you look at a cash register at the grocery store, a cash register at McDonald's, a cash register at Jack in the Box, they are all running on some type of software that has to be programmed to the items and things that they have in the store, in that restaurant. Well, it's the same thing with everything else. So make sure that you understand that no matter what degree you are seeking, some course that you're going to take has what they consider course-specific or degree-specific software, and you're going to need that. That's what the whole point of the technology policy and making sure that you have certain specs on your laptop or your desktop or whatever, because you're going to have to download certain softwares to run to be able to do the assignments and complete the assignments for any class or any degree. Okay, so those are the things that I want to talk to you about now. Like I said, I would also talk about, the basic supplies that are needed for anyone, no matter what level of school that you're in. Once again, you're going to need paper. Anything lower than college, most often you're going to need folders, binders. What are those things that they put in between? Dividers. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need glue. You're going to need crayons. You're going to need pens. You're going to need pencils. You're going to need graph paper. If you're in high school, you're going to need a calculator unless the school provides one. Some high schools provide calculators for students. Some don't. You just have to know what's going on at your schools. You're going to need, trying to think of what else, scissors, rulers. I'm thinking of all of the things that I have bought every year. And most often it's paper, pens, pencils, crayons, graph paper, notebook paper, spirals, dividers, binders, folders. That's the basic stuff. You're at the elementary level, you're going to be buying Kleenex, things of that nature. And if you can, and if you are being blessed and the Lord has blessed you, pay it forward. Buy an extra box of crayons, buy an extra box of notebook paper, buy an extra spiral, buy an extra folder, and donate that stuff to your child's teacher. Because there are kids who, regardless to even with these new, earned income credit or child tax credit or whatever checks that are coming out now that I didn't get, but there are still some people who are struggling right now, and pay it forward. So if you have been blessed with some money and you have a little extra, pay it forward and buy some extra school supplies and donate those to your child's teacher. It helps, and the Lord will bless you for it. There's nothing wrong with being a good person. It absolutely costs nothing to have a good heart and be a good person. Okay, so if you do it and you have it, do it. If you don't, we understand. Sometimes you just can't. Guess what? But there's always prayer. Pray that the Lord helps someone, or whatever religion that you a part of, that person, that Lord, your Lord, or whoever you're praying to, blesses another family to have the things that they need. If you're being blessed, there's nothing wrong with praying to make sure that someone else's family is blessed. Okay, I do it all the time. Pray that prayer of Jabez. If you don't know what the prayer of Jabez is, look it up. Jabez, as in zebra. Prayer of Jabez. Pray that every morning over everybody to make sure that we're all getting what we need. Okay, because school supplies, like I said, I've read several places that school supplies this year are expensive. They are going to be expensive, and as with anything, they're blaming it on the pandemic. They're blaming it on, everybody now has a shortage of something. There's a shortage of wood. There's a shortage of paint. There's a shortage of something. So as these people are raising their manufacturing prices, they're doing nothing but change, moving those extra costs onto the customer. So everything right now is expensive, including school supplies, So once again, or I hadn't said this yet, make sure that you double check when you're starting to go out and buy school supplies. Price check different stores, but I will always tell you, because I'm a big advocate for it, I'm not necessarily a Bezos fan, but Amazon has worked wonders for me even when I was in college, because I like to buy stuff in bulk. When you buy it in bulk, that's more stuff, lasts longer, you don't have to buy it again. So, if you can, buy your notebook paper in bulk, buy your spirals in bulk, buy your folders in bulk, buy your pens, pencils, highlighters, buy that stuff in bulk. That way you're only buying it one time, or maybe twice throughout a school year, versus having to go to the store every few weeks or every few months and get them. Okay, so school supplies, everybody needs them, no matter what level you're in, from pre-K all the way up to a doctorate. You're going to need school supplies, and I hope that I provided you all with the school supplies that are needed for the collegiate level. Remember, my series is based on college, because I have a daughter getting ready to go off to college, so I'm trying to help parents, whether you went to college or not, or you have a child and, first time freshman, first time college student or whatever, you're going to have school supplies that you're going to need to give out, to purchase, and they're going to need. So, hey, take this information for what it's worth. Have a wonderful day. Go out and be a blessing to someone else. Do things that you need to do for yourself, and just have a good day. And what time is it? You have about 7 minutes left, but just go out and have a good day. Be a blessing to someone else, and do everything for yourself and for your kids, and try to go out and bless someone else and have a great life. So with that, I will say goodbye. I do not have a presentation next week. I think I have one the first week in August. So I'll see you guys the first week in August. And once again, for those that are getting your kids prepared to go to school, I know it's hard. I know it's rough, but it's going to be great. Don't see the positive in it. See the positive in it. Things have happened during COVID. There's no time to place blame. Now is how do we fix it? Stop looking at what the causes were and just say, hey, this has happened. COVID has happened. Some of the kids are behind. How do we fix it? And go from there. Okay. Have a good day. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye-bye.